I was planning a trip to LA to see a friend. However, we decided to go to Mexico instead. So my feelings in regards to traveling to the US have soured due to the current climate between our countries.
I have my everything. I'm just like,
I try not to get too much into politics, but it's maybe unnecessary. Not with your biggest neighbor and trade partner, but it on both sides there are definitely better things that could have been done. Just hope this will get through it and go back to normal for sure.
What we've noticed is a lot of our potential visitors, particularly on the Canadian side, they're quite angry. They're quite hurt by what they see as policy and rhetoric that is attacking. And from what I'm hearing, and I've talked to travel professionals from the Canadian side, from the Atlantic to the Pacific this week, what they're hearing from their audiences, whether those are readers or whether those are bus tour passengers, is that some of their folks are telling them they're going to vote with their dollars and they're not going to come visit the United States. That's a challenge for us here because it runs counter to how we've always lived our lives and marketed ourselves as one destination.
We probably were considering whether we should come or not, to be honest, but we decided since it's our 10th anniversary we'd come anyway. But it might have been different if we hadn't booked as early as what we did.
It's hard to know. Probably not for a while. So probably wait a while to see how things pan out and see if it goes steep downhill from here.
For me, I do travel for work a lot, so I still travel. I still drive my American-made car. So, but yeah, it could make an impact when things get more expensive, definitely.
I'm actually an American citizen, but I've been living in New Zealand for 30 years. So coming back here is okay for me, but my family have all said, we're not coming back.
In hotels in states that are closest to the border, we've seen a decline in room demand basically since the inauguration.
What we've noticed is people are hurt, and so we've had to change some of our marketing tactics already this year. We have not seen a significant drop in business yet, only because it's hard to quantify. We have heard anecdotal reports of cancellations, but with our core season really picking up around Victoria Day weekend in May, that's when we might start to actually see cancellations. We've been very careful not to broadcast and demonstrate US assets to Canadian audiences and Canadian assets to US audiences, because when we have, we found that has drawn out a lot of negative sentiment. And we don't want to besmirch our partners and our destination that way. So what we have done is kind of pivoted to New York landmarks being shown to New York audiences, Canadian landmarks being shown to Canadian target audiences.
I think the constant jokes about annexing Canada, Canada being the 51st state, and that coming from the mouth of very high-level political leaders, just put a very sour taste in my mouth. And the tariffs as well being imposed. I always saw the US as being our ally. And so when that rhetoric started flying around, I didn't take it as a joke. For me, it was a very serious threat, and it was a very serious insult. So now instead of traveling to the US, we've got our eyes set on Europe destinations as well as Latin America, for example, Mexico, where we currently are right now. I would love to go back to the US, but right now, as things are, I, as a Canadian, don't really feel safe or welcomed.
But you could argue that weather and the dollar were in play last year. The thing that is different this year is the rhetoric from the administration that has a lot of Canadians think twice about coming across the border.